Skeet was the country house that Brady had in Kent, which of course to us seemed like a million miles away. I think it must have been some kind of benefactor either bought Skeet or gave Skeet to Brady, I don't know, but it was again this ethos of keep kids active, keep them out of trouble. The big thing was keep them out of trouble, make sure they're always learning, always together, in a group, learning from each other and building relationships with each other. My sister always went to Brady, and she used to go to Skeet. And I think the first time I went to Skeet, I think my parents were just desperate to get rid of us all, because the first time I went to Skeet, I was so tiny when I think back. But my sister was always there. I think my parents always thought, well, Annette's there, she'll look after her. And she did, because I remember going to Skeet at the same time. My sister was there as well. We all had dorms. It was very much, everyone had, dorms had about 8 or 9, depending on the room, 8 or 9 beds. And the first time I went, every night I got out of bed and went into my sister's room and slept with her, because I used to share a room with my sister and share a bed with my sister. So, to me, going to sleep was going to sleep with my sister. So I didn't see why Skeet should be any different. So I would creep out of the bedroom and go and sleep in my sister's bed, which was a bit touch and go, because I can remember climbing it. She was in the top bunk. So I remember climbing up to the top bunk, not worried about whether I was going to fall out or not, because I knew she'd look after me. So yeah, and from then on, till I left the club when I was 12 or 13, I was a regular at Skeet. And then obviously when I came back as an adult or a young person to help Phyllis, Skeet was like a home from home. When I went back to help Phyllis out at Skeet, I just remember that the kids were, you'd say, right, who wants breakfast? Who wants tea? And these kids were saying, oh, I have skim milk, or I have semi-skim milk. And I said to Phyllis, what are they talking about? Semi-skim, skim, they'll get what they're given, 15 years on, whatever it was, these kids knew that they wanted skim milk or semi-skim milk. We wouldn't have dreamt for asking it for anything like that. But I guess things move on. And again, I went back as an adult because I think my brother joined an old Bradians group because he lived in America, but was always keen when he came back to the UK, briefly for visits, to meet up with people. They had open days every now and again, and we'd go. And it was just amazing because when you go as an adult, the house is, it's not small, but it's not big. But to us as kids, it seemed massive. And also, we all lived in flats, big or small. So it seemed massive. And it was very old. I mean, the staircase, was tipped at an angle. So, it was very difficult to get up the stairs upright. But it was just great fun. There were 2 housekeepers, a husband and wife, who did all the cooking and stuff. And of course for me, I loved the food because it was all food that we never had at home. At home we had very plain, basic, nothing like pies or puddings. And that's what they used to cook, lots of pies and, desserts, big desserts, puddings. So yeah, I loved it. It was just great fun. Made great friendships. Having said that, I'm not kept in touch. It's a long time, I suppose, but I'm not kept in touch with the people that I met at that time at Brady. But they just seemed like very important friendships at the time because I spent so much time with them. I think Skeet was, well, number one, it was exciting because you were not with your parents. So you were away with all your friends. Yes, there were adults there, but they weren't your parents. Which meant you probably listened to them more than you did your parents. But it was very liberating and it was very exciting. We felt that we were pushing the envelope, that we could do things that our parents didn't know. And I think as much as anything else, it was, we all came from the inner city. Either there was me in Spitalfields where there was no greenery and, Main Road and, the market, or people lived on council estates where it was all concrete and nowhere really to play, unless you wanted to play football on concrete. So Skeet was very different because there was grass, there were fields, there were things that we didn't see in our everyday life. Flowers, as they just space to run around. I mean, there was a tennis court. I mean, what do we know from tennis courts? Our playgrounds were tiny at school. I don't think anyone did actually play tennis, but it was there. You could run around on it, and just to feel getting lost. You were never lost, but if you couldn't see the house, you felt that you were being very brave. But on a Sunday, we'd all go to, there was a route march to the tuck shop, which seemed like a really long way away. I think it must have been a 10-minute walk. But, you could go to the tuck shop and you could get your, sweets or whatever and walk back. And there were all the leaders and the volunteers, and they were making sure that, you were walking at the side of the road, and they would all shout, car, and everyone would be, ushered even more into the side of the road. So there was a structure to it. You knew after a few times, you knew what you were going to get. You were going to get games, and you were going to do shows, and you were going to go to the tuck shop. But then beyond that, there was just a sense of adventure and, group of friends going off and, running around the fields and doing what you couldn't do when you were at home.